Hi everyone, I'm Dan Albers and welcome to Redskins Review. Today's show is being taped on Wednesday, September 30th. And in this show we're going to talk about the Redskins' 28-14 loss to the Milford Eagles. This week's games with Loveland Tigers are Roosevelt Financial Offense Defense Players of the Week. And joining me as always is Coach Jeff Giesinger.
Okay.
Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Played a much improved Milford Eagles team, better than I thought they were, really honestly, coming into this game, and came out on the wrong end of the score there, 28-14 loss, first time that Milford's beaten us since 1999.
Yeah, I think they're better than people are telling, or people are saying about them. I mean, Withrow beat them, but I think Withrow's a lot better than people are saying too. Our league's just really tough. There's just a lot of good teams there, and Milford's JV were undefeated last year, and the freshmen I think were undefeated.
Oh wow!
Or maybe had lost one. So they've got a lot of good young talent coming up, and they had 30 seniors.
Oh wow!
You know, we have like 17 I think now. So I mean, when you're playing all those seniors, and that's an advantage, and so they're doing a good job out there. They're the biggest school in the league, so they're finally getting some of those kids that come back out for football, and it's hard to compete sometimes when they've got, like I said, that many kids. And they did a really good job, made some good adjustments second half, and really just ran the ball down our throats and kept our offense off the field. Not that we were played so great on offense either, but they controlled the ball. I think they had the ball 30 minutes.
It was 30 minutes, yep.
It's really hard to win a game when you let the other team run that many plays. And again, we got worn down and some injuries, and so it's a whole bunch of stuff.
You did have a nice opening drive. Patrick Johnson scored on a 29-yard run. You guys took that early 7-0 lead. Yeah,
it was great. Coach's game plan well. Kids executed, and we got up and made some plays, and and then I think we got a stop on defense the first time they had the ball. So the game started out, the way we wanted, and we had control of the game. And then, once Milford kind of got into a rhythm of running their power scheme, we were in trouble because physically we just couldn't man up with them.
Yeah, Milford did answer after you scored 7-0. Brandon Taylor 9-yard TD run. They had a really nice combo, and Taylor and Sloan running the football for them.
Right, and we told the kids you got to be ready to stop the power play, and they got that going, especially the second half. And when Harrison got hurt, that made it even harder on us. But and then the quarterback running the read off the zone. He runs. He's not like he's a superstar, but he's certainly good enough to hurt you with it, and he did that to us. So, they were able to control the ball and attack us inside and outside, and it made it really tough.
Yeah, as we said, I think his name was Tyler Smith, did a really good job. I think this is his first year running the offense, and I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's only a junior. I thought he did a real nice job. He's going to be a nice quarterback for him next year.
So that put them up 14-7, but then you guys put together a really, really nice drive right before the half, and I think with 2 seconds to go, a 21-yard TD pass from Dylan Smith to Trevor Porter. That was a great drive before the half.
Yeah, it was. We'd come back and were able to move the ball down the field, made some nice throws and catches, and that's the thing that's frustrating about us is we can do stuff like that and look really, really good, and then other times go out there and we just can't get out of our own way sometimes. And so the consistency that we're still looking at in week 5 is frustrating, and the players are frustrated about it, coaches are frustrated, and we just got to keep. I told them there's no easy answer. We just got to work. Yeah. And so we've been trying to do this week and get better at those things. But yeah, it's always great to go in at halftime on a high note because we were able to tie the score up, and we felt like at halftime we were in pretty good shape. And of course they got the ball and came out, and it was just ripping off 8-10 yard chunks of yardage on us, and we tried to make some adjustments with some of our fronts and move some people around and change some personnel. Nothing really was gonna work for us on that.
The second half, as we said, they came out, had a nice long drive. Really, honestly, it was the Dawson Sloan show because he ended up with 189 yards and a TD. And the big stat was he averaged like 6.5 yards per carry, so that was pretty big.
It was really, really tough. We were doing a pretty nice job in the first half on first down and getting them in long yardage. In the second half, they were constantly in third and shorts and second and shorts. We didn't have an answer for them. Tried, like I said, a few different fronts, changed some personnel, And our best D lineman, Blake White, was out for the game. And then when Harrison got hurt early in the first half, they're our two most physical defenders against the run, and we lost them. Made it really, really tough.
Yeah, I didn't notice one thing they were doing. I don't know if they were doing it much in the first half as they were in the second. They kept lining 72. It was like 300 pounds, and line him up on the right, bring him over left, and it seemed like they were trying to run right off of him as much as they could.
And our kids knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Again, it was, you can know what's going to happen, but stopping is another thing, and we couldn't do that. They would get in, bring, like I said, some unbalanced stuff and bring him over, and it's not wasn't a total surprise or anything. It's just, we're playing some sophomores out there on the D line, and they've got some juniors and seniors playing, and it's tough.
Yeah, we did talk just about the time possession. It was really unbelievable. It was 30-51 to 17-09, and like you said, it's going to be. And plus, they had 59 rushes. I mean, that's
right.
That's
they run the ball 59 times and throw it to about a dozen times. Is about all they threw it probably. And now you're up 70 plays on defense, and we just don't have the manpower to do that. And so we've got to be able to get people off the field. And get some stops. And then our offense has to go out and do some things and not go 3 and out. And that hurts us because then we're just tired, and it's just a never-ending cycle of that just contributes to us being worn down as the game goes on.
Obviously, we were talking here. We've talked a little bit earlier about Blake White. He definitely was a person that you guys missed on the defensive side of football. Like you said, he's one of your most physical guys, and it kind of showed a little bit with him not being out there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's a really good defensive lineman. He's played so much defense this year. He hasn't played as much offense, and I mean, he was all league at tight end last year, and we just haven't been able to get him off the defensive field. We have to play him, and when he went out, he had a concussion, and so he was out, and it just no matter who you put in, they're not going to be as effective as Blake.
Right.
And made it really, really tough. And I think he'll be back this week, which will really help us, and because we're going to need him against Loveland for sure.
Drew or Dylan Smith threw for 270 yards TD, but really he didn't seem like he was in sync with his receivers. They really didn't seem like they got anything clicking.
We had a few things that we were good at, and some things that we need to keep working on to improve. We had some chances on a couple deep balls, and we were really close, but we've got to be able to make a play and execute those things, and it's a struggle because again there's inconsistency there in the receiving core of who's playing well at that time and who's not, who's going to catch the football, and we've been plagued by some drops earlier in the year and stuff, so that makes it hard when you don't get that rhythm going in the passing game.
You did again struggle in on third downs. I think you were only 2 for 10, and that really hurts when you can only convert 2 times.
For sure. So we got to get better.
Patrick Johnson ended up with 70 yards rushing. It seemed like he had early on was getting some good yards, and then later on you just weren't on the field enough.
Well, we weren't on the field enough in the second half to really evaluate the offense that much. Because they didn't have that many chances. They're not going to go out and have a 10-play drive every time and score points. And so, defensively we have to improve to get off the field and give them a chance. But yeah, Patrick had some nice runs for us.
Dylan Browning, I believe you guys moved him to defensive end. It looked like like he did a pretty good job filling in for Blake.
Yeah, Dylan's a big, strong junior, but again, he's not Blake, and he's not an experienced senior, and so he's just got to continue to work to get better.
And you did say that you guys were on the field a lot. And as the game wore on, you could tell that it was really taking its toll on your defense.
Yeah, it's just hard. It's really, really tough. And we're trying to play a lot of guys, but we've got some injuries. And we really were missing another lineman from early in the year. Stanley Howard has been hurt, and he was playing some varsity minutes early in the year, and so we've missed him, and hopefully we can get him back here in the next week or so.
I'm pretty brutally honest about the officials, and John and I were announcing the game, and there's a lot of penalties called. There was 14, and I was not very impressed with that officiating crew at all.
I'm not saying
I know you don't want to say anything.
There's one guy that was on their sideline that is not one of the better officials I've ever seen in
Yeah.
32 years of coaching. He might be the worst, but
And I think
he's
I
not
know which
one of
one
the
he
better
is.
ones.
And I think I knew which one he is without even saying a word.
You know, and it's just when he showed up, we were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And what he does, he just makes a lot of calls that, you know, why is he making that call?
Right, exactly.
And the rhythm of the game is just.
Well, I can name
just
one
tough.
in particular that just blew us away when you guys had, I think, a positive yardage, and he threw the flag for sideline warning on Milford, and I just about died on that one. That was
Well,
just
he's worried about sideline warning instead of calling the game. But,
exactly.
yeah, that's not why we lost.
I
the
know,
game.
I know. I just
You know,
thought it was. You get those crews every once in a while, and
there's plenty of a need for good officials.
Right.
So Danny, if you want to go get your license,
you know what? I'd probably
do
kick
that.
everybody out.
You
Probably.
could be working. You could be working full time doing that.
Yeah, I'd probably kick everybody out. I don't know if that would be good. Let's talk a little bit about this week's game. Playing I guess you want to say struggling Loveland Tigers, but I mean they're really a really good team. They're 1-4, 0-2 in the league, but their record doesn't really indicate how good they really are.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, they had Glen Estee lost that game in overtime. Lebanon played really well and threw the ball very effectively against them early and got up on them. They beat Oak Hills, who's struggling. Kings played really well. Kings came back after their loss to Turpin and played really well against them, but Loveland came storming back at the end and had a chance. And then they lost a close game, I think, week one to Lakota East.
Yep.
So they've played some really good teams, and yeah, they have some players. Got some D1 kids on defense. Saunders kid, one linebacker's name's escaping me. And then Waddell is just a playmaker. I mean, he's the most explosive offensive player in our league. Probably has been the last couple of years. And kid just makes plays everywhere. And they put him in a lot of different spots, which makes it hard. So certainly their record does not show how good they really are.
Luke Waddell obviously is their main guy that everybody knows on offense. I was kind of surprised he only had 37 yards rushing last week against Kings, but Kings, pretty good. On the flip side, he ended up having, I think, 90 yards receiving on coming out of the backfield. So it's going to be a big threat for you guys to try to stop.
Oh yeah, we've tried to reinforce that to the kids. You've got to know where he is, when he's in the slot, when he's at fullback, when he's at halfback, when he's out at receiver, all those kind of things. Because they're trying to get him the ball. I'd say 70 to 75% of the time he's involved with getting the football for them, and because he's so explosive. Coach Cranford, he's not a dumb guy. He knows who can run and who's a great player, so he gets him the football. And that's going to be our big thing, I think, is trying to slow him down a little bit. Kings had a nice defensive game plan, and Kings' defense is pretty good too.
Yeah.
That's why they were picked to win the league early in the year, and it still may pan out that way, even though they lost that one game. So, he might have had 37 last week, but he's had a game where he's had over 300 too. So
that's right.
I think Oak Hills he got over 300. So he's good.
So I was looking too that Loveland had a lot of success last week throwing the football. Is that a little concern for you?
Well, they were behind. I mean, they were behind 24-3 going in the fourth quarter.
So they had no choice.
So they're going to throw the ball a little bit. And Plitt's a good quarterback. I mean, I think he's committed to Ball State. I mean, he's a Division I quarterback. So they're going to throw the ball and utilize his talents. Yeah, it's a concern because we've given up some big pass plays this year. We certainly can't fall asleep and let them get over the top of us on play action, running the wing tee and stuff. And we're going to have to read our keys and play our responsibilities.
Same kind of offense they run, typically the same thing, what they've been doing in years past. Has it changed a little bit?
No, it hasn't changed a whole lot. I mean, they're in a shotgun a little bit with some of their stuff, and like I said, with the quarterback being as good a passer as he is, that makes it a little bit tougher too. He's like I said, throws a good ball, and he's an experienced quarterback, so they're utilizing his talents that way and putting Waddell in a lot of different places. But it's still typical wing tee plays. You got to stop the trap, and you got to stop the buck sweep, and the weak side belly, and the belly G to the strong side, and so they've got a lot of things they can hurt you with.
Defensively, pretty much the same thing too as
They're
well.
4-3. Played a lot of man free, and very aggressive. I think their linebackers blitz really well, and they got that big tackle in there, Saunders, who's got Is he going to Northwestern, I think?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, he's got Big Ten defensive linemen against us. I mean, we don't have any Big Ten offensive linemen to block him. So he's a concern as well. And they run pretty well on defense. They don't have as much experience maybe as they've had the past couple years, but still, certainly a good defense to contend with.
Keys to the game, obviously, is going to be turnovers and limiting Waddell to. You're obviously not going to stop Waddell,
right,
but you're going to just maybe contain him enough that it'll give you guys a chance to,
Yeah, I think the big keys, one, is ourselves not making any critical errors, offensively or defensively. We can't drop a touchdown pass. We can't throw an interception when somebody's wide open. We can't fumble the ball. We can't blow a coverage. You can't miss a tackle in the open field. Those kind of things. And then the turnovers. We've got to win the turnover battle or have no turnovers. I think those are really keys. I think from a defensive point of view, we have to be able to know where Waddell is, what plays he can run out of different spots where he's located. There's certain things he does when he's at fullback, certain things he does when he's at halfback or the slot. And again, we've been trying to talk to the kids about that. And we may know it's coming, but still, sometimes you get out athleted and stuff.
Right.
And then I think offensively, we've got to be able to control the Saunders kid and not let him just wreak havoc on the defensive line. So, with some formations and motions and things, we can slow him down a little bit on defense.
Freshman in the JV, I believe the freshman won and the JV lost. Am I correct on that?
JV lost, I think, 14-8
or 14-7.
14-9, maybe.
Was it
7? I can't remember. I think it's 14-9. They had a chance, had the ball down there at the end. Just couldn't make a play. Again, typical JV game can go either way.
Right.
And then the freshmen were pretty much in control of the game. They had a fumble late that Milford returned for a touchdown, but they ended up winning 21-18. And so they're still
undefeated. And
they're doing a great job. Coach Burns, Coach Arlinghouse, Coach Vale got them going and playing really hard, and so they're getting ready for Loveland this week.
What is the JV's record? Are they 500?
JV or I think they're 2-2.
2-2.
Because they've only played.
They missed the McNick game.
Yeah,
right?
they missed the McNick game. So I think they're 2-2.
That's good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our Roosevelt financial offense, defense, special teams players of the week.
Well, offense is Nick Vosel. Had a couple of really big catches for us, and has just had a nice senior year after not playing since he was a freshman. So thought it was a good reward for him. He's done a good job with that. Dylan Smith with special teams,
Punting.
with some great punts. He's an all-league type punter. He's a great quarterback too, but I don't know that he's going. We've got a lot of great quarterbacks in our league. Kid from Glen Estee, the kid from Loveland, the kid from Kings. I mean, it's hard to compete, but he's a great punter. Done a great job for us. And then Kyle Riley, sophomore linebacker. He just gets better and better every week. He's going to be a really nice player for us. And coming back from his shoulder injury, he's finally feeling about 100%. And he's just, again, he's a good blitzer and he's a good tackler. And he just has a knack for playing linebacker. Yeah,
and you got, like you said, you have a lot of those sophomores in there. How do you feel like they're progressing as they're playing? Can you see improvement in them each week?
Yeah, they're getting better. I mean, on the offensive side, you got Nate Wilkins and Trent Rogers playing a lot on the offensive line. Amadeus Jones has been playing a lot of tight end. And then defensively, Trent and Nate have been playing some D-line. Kyle Riley's been playing. Kyle Blaha has been playing a lot of DB, or Austin Watt was playing free safety. So there's 6 or 7 of them getting significant minutes, or if not starting. And then there's some other guys that continually to get better. And it's just hard that freshman year, that jump from or that sophomore year, that jump from being a freshman to be an effective varsity player on a Friday night is hard for some of them. And some of them physically still aren't ready to play, but we just have no choice to play them. And unfortunately, the last few years, it's kind of been that way. We've had to play some young guys because we haven't had enough older guys that were effective enough to take the spot.
Let's talk a little bit about, we were talking before we came on air, they're going to do a special thing before the game, I believe, for the veterans, war veterans, I guess, or veterans that served in the war here. I guess, are they from Anderson or just all over the area? I guess they're doing something with Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, they've done a veterans wall for all the Anderson grads that had military experience.
Right.
So they're going to do that. So that's a pretty neat thing that Andy Wolf is doing here at the school, and it should be pretty nice.
Yeah, they're honoring the veterans. They've got some really cool T-shirts that are blue with Redskin head with the colors of the flag on it.
Oh,
And
that's
it looks
cool.
really neat. And it should be a really neat experience and a great way to honor those guys that have fought for our country and served our country, and hopefully it makes an impact on the high school kids to see that and appreciate what those people have done for us.
Absolutely. And on a special note, I want to thank Jeff and the football program for what they did for my father and giving him flowers. And I really appreciate it. It was a tough day yesterday, but I really appreciate what you guys doing that meant a lot to me to see that. So again, thank you for doing that.
You've done a lot for us, Danny. So it's the least we could do.
I appreciate it. So we are going to try to wrap this thing up a little bit shorter than we thought it was going to be, but we got a lot in, and so we got a tough game, as we said, with Loveland, and hopefully we can get on the winning side again.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good, but again, the inconsistency that we have shown, if we could just play some consistent football and at least give ourselves a chance to win a ball game. Mm-hmm. Like McNick game, we played pretty consistently for the most part. We had a couple critical errors that hurt us. Harrison, we were playing all right for a while, and then just, it's similar to the Milford game. They came out and just ran it down our throats. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one thing that we've been afraid of all year, that's kind of our Achilles heel, is physically just stepping up and stopping people on the run. You can try to bring as many guys in the gaps as you want, but when they're still knocking you backwards, and getting 3, 4, 5 yards, it's hard to win.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get on the winning side of the football again. These games are on USBN Sports. I want to thank everybody at the studio, Anderson Community Television, for helping us out. We really appreciate that. And again, Denise White and all her help. So, and John, thank you last week for doing the game. And Greg will be back coming back in, and we'll put John back on the field. So hopefully we'll pull out a victory.
Good deal.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
So you've been watching Redskin Review. For Dan Alberts, Jeff Giesing, and John Raymond. We'll catch you next week.
What you want?